I'm Andreas Oberg. I'm a Swedish songwriter and music producer. I've been living in LA for the last couple of years, and since around 2012 I've been very active on the Korean music market, writing lots of songs for the K-pop artists and working with the labels, especially SM Entertainment. I've written for most of their artists: EXO, NCT, Super M, Super Junior, Shiny, Red Velvet, Girls' Generation, and so on. But also with other artists in Korea such as Monster X, Ice One, Twice, among others. My first K-pop song came out in 2012 with a band called VIX. It was a song called Starlight. I wrote it with Jonah Nilsson, the great singer from the Swedish band Dirty Loops, and Eric Lidbom, another Swedish successful music producer and writer. The song came out with a band called VIX. They were debuting at the time. And after that song came out, I got really inspired to continue writing more songs and pursue a career within K-pop songwriting. I felt I had a lot of musical freedom to do all my ideas and use my musical background within jazz to create interesting songs with layers of colorful chords, hooky melodies, and big vocal arrangements. My musical style is a mixture of jazz, R&B, different elements that I grew up with. I used to be a guitar player, performed a lot playing jazz music, and then I realized I wanted to write music reaching out, to a bigger audience. And I found that within K-pop, very dedicated fans, open to different musical ideas and genres. So my style, I would say, is a combination of interesting, colorful chords and vocal harmonies, combined with melodies, catchy hooks, trying to create something accessible for a lot of people, music fans from all over the world, but also with great musical quality. At least that's my goal. That's what I'm trying to do. And I think that the K-pop world gives me a lot of freedom to pursue my musical ideas. Since I've had so many songs being released during the last couple of years, it's hard to mention any favorites, but I'll point out a few singles that you guys might know. For instance, I've done 3 singles for Monster X, such as Drama Rama, Alligator, and Follow. And also like some of the Red Velvet songs you guys might know, One of These Nights, Oompa Oompa. I did a quite interesting song for Oh My Girl, a single called Windy Day. I want to point out one interesting song as well called Lo Siento. I wrote a few years ago with Obi Klein and Charlie Taft, among others, and it was one of the first real K-pop and Latin collaborations. The artist was Super Junior together with Leslie Grace, and the song Lo Siento had lyrics in Spanish, English, Korean, Latin flavored K-pop music, and it even charted on the US Latin Billboard chart. So that song is really a memorable one for me. Yeah, there has been lots of collaborations going on between American writers, Korean writers, European writers, writing for K-pop. And I think it started this trend a few years ago with some of the labels, starting with songwriting camps. I had the pleasure of doing lots of songwriting camps in Korea, especially with SM Entertainment. I think I've been part of almost like 10 songwriting camps over the years, creating many memories and memorable songs. And these days, since the K-pop artists are so popular even in the Western world and in the US and all over, I think a lot of writers are interested now in writing for K-pop and learning more about Korean culture and Korean music. So when this pandemic is over, hopefully these songwriting camps will start again, so we can go to Korea and work with the labels, the artists, and make tailor-made songs for the K-pop audiences. This year, because of the pandemic, it's been a kind of a strange situation for songwriters. It's been harder to work together in the room. Of course, I do prefer to be in the room, feel the energy and feed off other people's energy and exchange ideas and really create something together. But these days, and this year, it's been more common with online sessions, working over Skype or Zoom or I would say it works as well. You know, you have to adapt to the times and what's going on in the world. So I've been doing quite a few online sessions this year, especially with some people that I really know well from before. So we already know our different roles and how we work together. And then it's pretty smooth to work over the internet as well. Sometimes we're also recording ideas and sending them back and forth, and then we talk over Skype or Zoom or WhatsApp and kind of decide together, are we keeping this part, are we tweaking this part, are we adding more harmonies to this part. So it's a little bit of like, it's kind of like creating a puzzle or a patchwork and making the different parts and ideas make sense and work together. And I think when you're in the room and you start a song from scratch and you start by playing some chords and a guitar, it's a different, or a piano, and then build everything, the production and the melody and the lyrics on top of that. It's a different process. Sometimes over the internet you work on an existing track and you top line, you make lyrics and melodies. And it's just a different process of working, but I do appreciate both, and hopefully in the future there will be more in-person songwriting sessions and song camps again. Lately, there's been a lot of urban influences in K-pop, trap, hip-hop, and so on. Next year, we'll see what's gonna happen. I'm hoping more of the organic stuff will come back, live instruments, guitar, piano, yeah, like live strings, some of that. I'm hoping to hear more of that. I love creating music with live instruments. So we'll see. And I think these days in America, you can hear the K-pop influence on some of the American artists, and also vice versa. The Korean artists are becoming more influenced by the trends going on in America. So it's always very exciting